went through a period where I didn't want to talk to God. Didn't want, because I was angry. How can you do this?
Now at 10, a mother's hope from that mother of the missing Morenci boys. How she hit her breaking point and what she wants to say to the man last seen with her kids. Plus, the mother of the 3 missing Morenci boys opens up for the first time. Good evening. I'm Sean Haggerty.
And I'm Laura Emerson. In less than a week, Tanya Zuvers will mark 1 year since her 3 boys disappeared. Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner Skelton have not been seen since they were last with their dad on Thanksgiving in Morenci. John Skelton is now serving a 10 to 15-year prison sentence for admitting that he took the children, but he still refuses to reveal where his sons are. Today, the boys' mother talked to Fox Toledo. Here's Kevin Milliken. Stay in bed and cry and sleep.
Tanya Zuvers hit a breaking point last August and checked herself into a stress center for nearly a week after many months missing her sons.
As their mom, I don't feel they're dead. I don't feel that in my heart. I feel they're out there, they're trying, they're wanting to come home, needing to come home.
But every once in a while, Tanya admits there are lingering doubts.
I try not to let myself go there because then that takes me to that dark place, and I don't want to go there. But I know that I have to keep in the back of my mind that they may not come home alive.
Her faith was shaken, but not shattered.
I went through a period where I didn't want to talk to God. Didn't want, because I was angry. How could you do this?
Tanya now lives day by day, sometimes minute by minute, hurting then healing, doubting then determined, now hoping and praying.
I'm just stuck in limbo because there isn't closure. But I don't know. I would rather know one way or the other, sooner rather than later.
But as long as Tanya's ex-husband refuses to reveal their whereabouts, she won't know. The couple got divorced a few months ago, sitting in the same courtroom, the uncertainty of her sons hanging there each hearing.
I am not going to give him the satisfaction of knowing I do fall apart. I refuse to look at him. I will not.
Her oldest son, Andrew, will turn 10 Sunday, but she won't celebrate birthdays or holidays without them. Instead, she's writing each of the boys letters on their birthdays and saving them for their eventual return.
I'm not even doing Christmas this year. When they come home, it'll be free run of Toys R Us or the video game store, whatever. We'll have the celebration when they come home.
When the boys come home, you're saying those words. Are you also feeling and believing those words?
I do believe they're safe. I have to believe that. I have to stay strong and positive so when they do come home, I'm the mom that they remember. Tanya and her family are planning a 1-year anniversary observance.
Extremely sad and heartbreaking true crime news story here with a very grim, sad update. This was back in 2011, Thanksgiving, 1-year anniversary of that woman, Tanya Zuvers, 3 sons being missing. And you see at that time, you know, she was doing her best to keep it together, keeping faith, her faith being tested, but ultimately she still had her faith, but also faith that her sons were alive. But you fast forward to today in 2025, 15 years later, and there's a court hearing set to take place to have legal proceedings to have the 3 kids declared deceased. Very, very sad, man. And it's just insane. There's going to be police that take this stand and some other witnesses, and ultimately it's so crazy. All these years later, the father hasn't said anything. I'm not sure exactly his release date, but with the declaration of deceased on the 3 kids, they can lock this scumbag, psycho, evil demon away for life, I'm presuming. And I'm not sure if Michigan, I don't believe, is a death penalty state, but I wonder if the feds could get involved, because they have evidence that he did cross state lines. They live in Morenci, Michigan, and she gave the kids to the husband. And I just gotta say, man, like, listen to some of this just garbage that this husband is talking about.
Well, as we first reported at 6, we asked John Skelton specific details about what was found inside his house, including a noose. Tonight, we've got more details about other items found inside the home, including a bullet.
I have something to prove to, I guess, the world. I didn't hurt my boys.
John Skelton once again insisting his sons Tanner, Alexander, and Andrew are alive. Skelton's call to us came as his in-laws met with Action News earlier this week and said they do not expect a joyous reunion. What reason should people have to believe you, though? What evidence have you given that the boys are alive?
I can't until I get out. I told my lawyer, I told the FBI, I'm in here. I don't think they're going to do any kind of contact.
Skelton says he gave his sons, only 5, 7, and 9 years old, to an organization to protect them from his estranged wife, Tanya. Police have not accused her of any wrongdoing. Skelton now says he has doubts about the alleged group he gave his kids to.
They could have just been duped. They could have just scammed me and took my kids. I don't know.
As Action News first reported months ago, police found ropes and at least one noose in John's home when they searched it. John says none of what was seized in the home proves he hurt his sons. Your family released the search warrant return from your home the day that the boys were declared missing. And in that search warrant, it said that there was ropes and a noose found in your house, along with a lot of bleach and cleaning products. What exactly were those products for, and why was there a noose in your house?
Bleach and cleaning products. I don't know.
You have 3 minutes.
It was laundry soap in the bathroom. That's it.
You're saying you did not hurt the kids with that noose?
I never even saw that.
Okay, and you
Never saw it at all.
did you say that was for a project?
Yes.
Can you describe the project at all?
No. Not right now because of the investigation. The ropes were for a cradle harness. I guess that's what you call it. So making a harness to go around my waist and legs, like a rope climbing.
Also, according to the search warrant return, a bullet was found on a stair inside John's home. Skelton says it was part of an old gun collection, which is long gone.
I had them since I lived in Alaska.
John Skelton's preliminary exam begins in early June. And of course, Action News will be there to bring you all of the developments. Reporting from the newsroom, I'm Tom Waite, Channel 7 Action News.
So you hear that interview over the phone, him with the news from jail. He's just been talking straight bullish over and over again, that he gave his kids to an underground group to keep them away from their mother and protect them from the mother. That's what I was going to say prior to sharing this clip. Like, if anyone out there, right, you are in a couple, a family or something like that, and there's issues where someone is dangerous, you gotta go to family court, get something put in place. And I'm not blaming the mom or anything like that. I'm just saying, you see what a whack job this guy is. I wish that there was some kind of family court order set to keep him away from the kids, because ultimately, again, that's what happened. On that Thanksgiving, she gave the kids, I believe they were 5, 7, and 9, to the father. He was supposed to bring them back the next day to spend the holidays with them, but they just never came back. And again, he's talking about he gave them to an underground group to protect them from the mother, but now he thinks that they may have scammed him. There was some other story. He's just told many lies, weaved yarns of bullish, yarn made of shit. This guy is a piece of shit, plain and simple. And the other one was, there's some guy that helps Amish people escape from being Amish or something like that, and I think he may have something to do with it. He's just a psycho, and too bad that there just wasn't some kind of something put in place to keep him away from the kids. You know, clearly she left him for some reason. And, you know, after hearing all this garbage that this guy's talking about, it's not hard to see at all why she didn't want her kids around this sack of ish. And you heard too, they found a noose in the house, bullets, and he's got some cockamamie story for all that as well. But at the end of the day, again, we fast forward to where we are now, 2025, trying to get a declaration of a death on the 3 kids. Just so heartbreaking to hear. Hopefully that does indeed happen and they can lock him away forever. Because I'm thinking this prison sentence may be coming to an end soon, as he was just convicted of not returning them. I'm surprised that was only a 15-year sentence, because wouldn't that be kidnapping? But I don't know, like legally, as we know so often, the law can work in many ways, right? Like there's people that can get a light sentence that deserve much more time. There's people that get charged with this when it should have been that. You know what I'm saying? In this situation, with him only getting 15 years, you know, I don't believe that they hit him with kidnapping, because you could get life for that. So I don't have the exact name of the charge, and I just can't believe this. It's just so sad. But what I was saying is, hopefully maybe the feds could get involved. And I don't know if you believe in the death penalty or not. I'm on the fence about it. You know what I mean? In some instances, there's some people that are just such sick demons. It's almost like they deserve to get put down. But then at the same time, it's like that double-edged sword, that if you're killing them, you know, like is that stooping to a lower level, or are you doing the world a favor, justice, keeping the world safer, or should they just rot behind a prison wall? You know, it's a very complex thing, and there's a lot to it. But getting back to what I was saying about the feds, maybe if they got involved as well, aside from that kind of sentence being put forth, that maybe they could just get involved and have their technology possibly help find what really happened. Or maybe the feds did get involved and assist at some point in time. I'm not quite sure. But basically, he took the kids at 4:30 a.m. It was shown that the Morenci, Michigan, is right on the border of Ohio. At 4:30, the cell phone pinged in Ohio, then was turned off. And then it didn't turn back on until 6 a.m. And at that point in time, it was back in Morenci, Michigan. And here he's just been sitting here telling all these lies. You know, you would think that with the time period, the window that they have, that maybe with him crossing the border and coming back over those state lines, that there would be a window of where he could have went, the square mileage, the radius or whatever. But at the end of the day, you heard they've searched woods, they've searched everywhere. There's just not a trace of these kids. They just straight up vanished. And it just truly is just terrible, heartbreaking. Like, you can't even really put words to it. And then you got this sack of garbage just spinning lies and playing games behind the prison wall. And I don't know, at the end of the day, you know, these poor kids and this poor woman, you know, she's, again, had her faith tested, at times crumbled and put the pieces back together. But, you know, that was many, many years ago, that interview where she still was holding out faith that there was alive. And then can you imagine that they were alive? And then here today in 2025, she's hoping that a judge declares them deceased. And I'm guessing to put this sack of ish away forever. It's just crazy when a story, the outcome is her hoping. Could you imagine that to her the best case scenario is a judge declares them deceased? How fucking just horrible and sad is that? You see this plaque on a rock. I'm not sure if that's at a park or whatever, in honor of those kids. I'm surprised that this story didn't get more coverage. I had never heard of it. Comment and let me know if you had heard of it, if it was something that you were following in the local area. You know what I mean? No one has forgot about it. Something so tragic like this, it just really hits the community. We were sharing a story on this channel maybe a month ago or so of a small town, I think it was in Idaho maybe, where I'll try and pin that below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, join the discussion, and hit the buttons and all that. And more true crime content will be on the way. But in this other story that I was speaking of, there was a mother that uncharacteristically KILLED'd her kids, and just no one could believe it. But the point in bringing that up is just that the community was just destroyed by this. It was a real small community as well, but here in this situation, you see, like, on a local level, the community still thinks about this horrible situation all the time, but nationally it's just not getting a lot of attention. And nowadays, with the power of the blogosphere, what I reference, this new internet society that we live in, where information spreads quickly, things can go viral and stuff like that. So often the bad about this blogosphere world we're living in is pointed out, but the good that's pointed out is that the blogosphere has real power, you know what I mean? And maybe this story could get some coverage again and people could speak out. Believe me, there's like in the R. Kelly situation, that documentary series, I believe it was a series, Surviving R. Kelly, aired, and people were in such an uproar and commenting on it so much. Things happened, and he ended up catching a federal case as well as a state case. There's many other situations as well that when people speak enough, it is heard, so let's all say a prayer for these kids, this woman, John Skelton. You're a sack of garbage. On top of it all, it happened. It's terrifying, and just the worst possible thing that could happen. And the fact that a father could do that to his own kids is just sick and disgusting. But on top of it all, it happened on a holiday. So every year when Thanksgiving rolls around, a time where people typically give thanks and look at what they're thankful for and have in their life, try to be positive. This woman is faced to look at something, I'm sure she never stops thinking about her children being missing and now presumed deceased. I wonder how long of them, after them being gone, she gave up and just said they're not alive anymore. I wonder how long she held on. This is just terrible, man. But that a day that is supposed to be where families get together is the anniversary of this sack of garbage doing what he did. And it should have never happened. And this guy should never step foot out of a prison. And you'd think that the sack of shit would just tell the truth, you know what I mean? Or maybe with the death declaration, if it does indeed happen, which I feel like it more than likely will. There was a probate lawyer who spoke to the press in regards to all this, who said this is a thing that happens from time to time, and there's different reasons it can happen, whether it's for closure, whether it's for trying to charge someone with the crime, or wrongful death suits, lawsuits, which in this situation, this sack of garbage is in jail and doesn't have a thing. And I highly doubt she's worried about money at all. I believe it would just be foreclosure for her to try to put it behind her, although you never stop thinking about that. And those were her babies, and this sack of garbage didn't even deserve to see those kids. But maybe if they do declare them deceased and do charge him and he's convicted, maybe he'll stop playing these just disgusting games. You know what I mean? Like, you sack of garbage, you hurt your own kids, and on top of it, you sit here and lie to the world. Just pure evil, plain and simple. I talk about it all the time, guys. There's spiritual warfare going on in the world. That's a fact. Comment everyone out there and let me know if you know what I'm talking about, that there's for real spiritual warfare going on, and there's good and evil, and there's demons that walk among us. And you have to keep your head on a swivel in Steer clear of the demons. And if you have demons within your life, cut them off. Get away from them. Don't speak to them. Don't allow them to bring that negative, evil force into your life. So, sad news. Rest in peace to these kids. I hate to even say it, because I would like to hope that they aren't deceased, but after all this time, no trace of them ever turning up. Originally when you hear this story and you see what a whack job this guy is, you wonder, could they possibly be somewhere? But unfortunately, I think they are deceased. And once again, F you, John Skelton. You truly are the lowest of the low. Just pure evil. So, tragic story. Let's talk about it in the comments. Subscribe to Crime Time Podcast. Stay tuned for updates on this story. Check out that other video I linked below. And again, let's say a prayer for these kids and their mother. Or if you don't pray, just put some positive vibes out into the atmosphere.